welcome everybody to The Right Seat. I'm Kiran Powers with Global Business Advisors, and today I have here with us Amanda Larsen, who is our expert business solutions consultant at Global Business Advisors.
Hello, everyone.
Thank you for coming. Amanda has been in this industry for well over 17 years, helping small businesses. She's in the right seat to find the best benefit plans for small companies. And so very valuable insight that we're going to hear today. So thank you for being here. Looking forward to hearing what you have to say.
Well, thank you for having me.
Today we're going to talk about something that a lot of folks think they understand, but probably don't know a whole lot about when it comes to benefit plans. So let's start by understanding some basics. If you've ever gone shopping for health insurance for your company, you've probably run into some terms, community rated and level funding. So today, we want to talk about level funding. So Amanda, let's start about how the Affordable Act impacted small group markets.
So the Affordable Care Act, had a lot of impact to larger employers saying you have to offer benefits or pay penalties. Smaller employers, you don't have to offer a health plan. But if you do, your plan has new regulations. I say new; it was impacted in 2014, but still impacts the market today. So what that really did to the small group market, it required that those plans that were offered are community rated, and they also have to meet specific metallic values. So community rating, it took, in the past you could rate based on the age of your employees, your covered dependents on a really wide ratio. They compressed that a lot. So you can still use age in the rating, but it's a much smaller ratio. So if you have a younger group, it really increased the rates there. It can rate based on tobacco status, but usually doesn't in the small group world. And then it can rate based on the geographic location of the company and what expected claims and health usage is in that area. But it took a lot of other things that could be factored in the past, like health status of your employees, your industry, the size of your company, all these other things that can predict claims. It threw those out the window. We can't use those factors anymore. And the result was that a lot of small employers saw that their rates were going to increase dramatically. If you've got a younger company with generally low health usage, your health rates were going up dramatically. And so the insurance companies got a little creative and looked to find new solutions to try to make some more affordable options for employers.
Oh, so tell us what some of those options are for small employers.
So today in the small group market, you've got those community-rated, fully insured options. That's your traditional health plan options, and they're impacted by those rating factors I mentioned. The alternative is level-funded plans, and so this is going to be a form of self-insurance that's really designed more for a small employer.
Okay, all right. So how do level-funded plans work?
So level-funded plans, again, they're a form of self-insurance, so they've got those same elements that a self-insured plan will have. So at its core, the employer is going to have the responsibility to pay claims for their employees and covered dependents. And then they're also going to have some stop-loss insurance. So if your claims for one person hits over a certain level, that stop-loss insurance is going to kick in to pay. Or if you have claims for your entire group exceed what your predicted claims were or what's in your claims fund, you're going to have that aggregate stop-loss that kicks in to pay. And then there's also some administrative costs because you've got the insurance company is actually going to process the claims and they're going to use their provider network and manage those contracts. So none of that's really administered by the employer. All of those elements are kind of built into the plan. But instead of you pay the claims as they come up, you're paying each month the maximum funding. So you have on your monthly bill, just like you would on a fully insured plan, your set premium per employee. But that set premium is actually broken down into the different buckets. So you've got your maximum claims fund for that person. You've got your stop-loss premium, your administrative costs. It's all lined out on your invoice. But it rolls up into that one total monthly premium that's a fixed dollar amount. So at the end of the year, if your claims were higher than what was in that claims fund, that's okay. Your claims fund is going to kick in to cover that difference. If your claims were actually lower than what's in the claims fund, you could potentially get a refund of some of those dollars paid back to you. So you're really sharing in the health claims for your employees versus just turning the entire responsibility over to that insurance company.
That's interesting. So you could actually get a refund.
Potentially.
I see. Okay. So how does the cost compare to community rated plans?
Well, typically we see, so because it's based on the expected claims of your employees, it can vary a little bit depending on your underlying healthcare usage. But typically we see around 30% savings for a level funded plan as opposed
Wow.
to community rated. Now, if you've got a really older population and a really high healthcare usage, it may not be much of a savings if at all. But particularly for younger, healthier employees or younger, healthier groups, you can see savings even 50 to 60%. But on average, I'd say about a 30% cost savings.
Wow, that's a big difference. Can you give us some examples of some small businesses that you've helped out? Maybe didn't realize they were in a community rated plan, didn't know about this option, but you helped them out.
Well, we've got a couple of examples. Some that we helped maybe a 25-person IT company a few years back. They were comparing their options, and we looked at community rated and level funded options. There, the level funded plan was 30% below what the community rated options were, and they
Wow.
went ahead and put that plan in place. They actually did end up having some higher claims, and so they didn't get a refund, but their premium that they paid was the total amount they paid. They didn't have to pay anything extra. And then going forward the next year, I think they had about an 8% increase in their premiums going into the next year. And we do, annually we look at, community rated versus level funded to see what else is out there. And the community rated plans then were 60 to 70% higher, even with their little bit high claims usage that year.
Yeah.
Year over year, we've seen 8 to 16% increases on their premium for the last few years, and the last time we looked, community rated plans were more like 70% higher than their premiums. So
Wow.
I feel like they're really in the best place in that level funded market. Even though they haven't got a refund, they've paid a lot less in premium than what they would have had on that fully insured platform. And then another example is a 10-person employer. They had a grandfathered plan in the past, so they were still subject to those old rating rules.
Sure.
But grandfathered plans, you have to continue that exact same plan with very little modification. And they really wanted to expand their plan options and offer some more options to employees, but they weren't able to because of that grandfathering. They were kind of locked into that one plan.
Sure.
So they were looking at community rated or level funded to open up opportunities to be able to provide additional plan options. Mm-hmm. And again, we looked at community rated, level funded. Level funded was about 30% lower. So they went ahead and put in that level funded plan that year. Their claims were really low. They ended up getting about a $5,000 refund after the end of the year.
Wow.
We did our market review again. Another level funded carrier was trying to bid for their business coming in below what their renewal numbers were. So we were able to use that to negotiate the renewal numbers. They were able to stay with the same insurance company, keep that same plan for a net, I think less than 1% increase in premium, in addition to getting that $5,000 refund that they were able to share with their employees. So
Wow.
everybody was able to save in that situation.
Yeah, most people don't have the time to look into that, don't have the knowledge of all of that, so they need to come to experts like you to kind of do all that for them. Really highlight the importance of utilizing resources like yourself out there to help shop these kind of plans for them, right?
Yeah, we think it's important to look at the options that are out there. It may sound complex and confusing,
Sure.
but we like to talk through what are the options, how do they work, how does it compare to what you have now and what the other options on the table are. It's important to do that annual market review every year to make sure the options that you have still meet the needs for your employees. They're still the best value out there for your company, that you're not paying more than you need to.
Great. Well, that kind of gives me another segue for our next conversation. So when we have you back, I think that's what I want to talk to you about is the importance of shopping the market every year. So that's to come. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here. Everyone, this is Amanda Larsen. She is our expert benefits consultant at Global Business Advisors. Thank you for being here.
Well, you're welcome, Kiran. Thank you for having me.